Hello, loves. Look at this. We are back on the trail. Now, y'all know all of the Beautifully Imbalanced episodes aren't going to be like this, but anytime I get a chance to introduce you guys to the environment that I like to come into and heal, I'm going to give y'all that chance. But before we dive in, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you be notified every time I post a video. This episode is about grieving. It's another grief episode, a part of the Grieving series. We are going to talk about grieving the childhood dreams as they shift. Some of us have childhood dreams that we are absolutely not going to pursue, right? We were, I'm gonna be an astronaut, and it wasn't like a legit dream of ours. It was just something that looked fun. Some of us were like, yeah, I'm gonna be an astronaut, and are actually pursuing that. As for me, my childhood dreams were 1, to become a mom, 2, to become a model, 3, to have this massive community center, 4, to be a writer. I wanted to be a dancer and a singer and all the things, right? Wanted to be a therapist. So some of those are careers that I'm actually pursuing. Some of those are things that I have welcomed as a gift, something to enjoy, something to just share with specific people, not to do as a career. And it took some time for me to be okay with that. Even with how I want to do these things, right? So let's dive into first the things that I decided and how I decided them. 1, dance and dancing and singing, and a little bit of poetry, right? Those are things that I'm not trying to dive in as a profession. Poetry, let's not say that. Not dive into as a profession. I love to sing, I love to dance, but because I was heavily criticized as a child in those things, anytime I share that, it's very vulnerable. It's not something I want to share on a huge platform, right? Because it's something I'm still healing and developing, and it's something that I feel like is always going to be near and dear to my heart. So those are things, that's why I chose to put those there. So grieving the thought that I'm going to be like Beyonce, on stage dancing and singing, or like Sierra. It wasn't hard. Like now it doesn't feel like it was hard. It was challenging though, because even just dancing and singing in front of people has been challenging, just from the amount of healing that I've had to do in order to feel that way. For me, it took being comfortable and being in my body. It took being comfortable with being disliked, with being overlooked, with not being fully seen. For who I am and what I bring to the table, embracing the fact that we're all different, right? And we have different gifts, right? We have there's different genres of music, different genres of it's art, basically, it's art. So it's only going to be received by a certain amount of people, and that's okay. And just really realizing that I'm not singing and dancing for a profession. I feel like that took some of the weight off of it and helped me to be myself. I'm singing and dancing because I love to sing and dance, right? So that helped me to just be like, this is just something I want to do for fun, something I want to share with friends and family, maybe a small intimate group, right? I'm not pursuing that as a career. Now, what I am pursuing is being a therapist, having a community center, and being a model, right? And so I was always like, I want to be a famous model. I want to be a supermodel. I want to be on Victoria's Secret's runway. Is that still a fact? Hell motherfucking yes. I want those things. But the path to get there is probably going to be slightly different than other people's paths. Or I'm doing it for more than just me. Before, it was like about being famous. It was about, when I was a kid, it was about fame. It was about validation. I didn't think that I was beautiful. I didn't think that I was talented. Well, I did, but there was more of me. There was more self-doubt and insecurity than there was those thoughts, right? So I didn't feel like I could do it. And me being a famous model felt like that would validate my talents, my gifts, my beauty, right? And that's what I wanted, that validation. So that's why I was pursuing it. Now I pursue it because, one, I have the skill to, and I would love to, I like to challenge myself to see how far I can go. Two, I do it because it's good for me and my clients, right? The more visibility I have in the world when I model for my clients, right? When I model for my commercial branding clients, when I do user-generated content for clients, it's gaining visibility and sales for them as well. So it's not just helping me, it's helping someone else. It's not just elevating me, it's elevating someone else. So it works out, right? Same thing with therapy. I plan to be a therapist. Now, I actually wanted to do this when I was a kid, but then I changed it. So I want to be a celebrity therapist. And then at my community center, that means I can take on more pro bono clients at my community center. The community center was always a thing too, but it shifted. Like at first, I wanted it to be connected to my therapy business. And I'm saying therapy business because I don't have the terms right now because I'm walking in, I'm hot. So the words are the official term, my private practice. There it goes. I wanted it connected to my private practice. I even wrote a layout for how I wanted the floor of the home to look and things of that nature. But then I shifted as I got older. I was like, I don't want it at my own home because that's where it was going to be. My private practice was going to be at my own home. It just didn't seem like the wise thing to do. So then it shifted to a community center. And that's kind of the dream I've been running with since then. So my dreams have shifted. In the midst of them shifting, I felt a little disconnect. I felt a little lost because I'm like, well, why are you changing? Are you changing because this person? Are you changing because you're changing? Are you changing because you want to, you know? But what I've learned is I was stretching and changing and growing, and so my dreams were doing that with me. They weren't going to stay the same to the T, you know? So they were growing with me. And I think in those moments, we feel so lost because we're growing and changing, and we're trying to get to know this new person we're growing and changing into, and we're trying to cleave to something stable. And we want our dreams to stay that stable thing, our goals to stay that stable thing that we cleave to. But there's more than one way to reach a goal. There's more than one way to be right. And so that's what's kind of helping me. And also just seeing how this stuff is in alignment with who I am now, right? Because when I was younger, like I said before, I wasn't as secure because there was a certain level of healing that needed to take place in order for me to do things the way I'm doing them now. In order for me to stand up and say, I want to represent your business. You know what I mean? Whereas traditionally, I would just model for whoever wanted me to model, right? Whereas now I go out and I find clients to model for, but then I'm also tied to agencies. And so then I'll model for other people. And again, the more work I do, the greater visibility I have for me and my clients, for my clothing brand and my oil brand, but also for the clients that I work with in order to help their brands. And the commercial branding that I do, the more work that I do in the world with brands that I've been successful for years, the more I learn and I can help apply that to the brands, the clients that I have, you know? So it's about like recycling that knowledge and building on that knowledge and applying it. So taking what I learned from working with, you know, corporate or bigger businesses and applying it to the small businesses that I work with. So your job is to reflect on what were your childhood dreams? Are you pursuing them now? Are you okay with pursuing them? Are you okay with not pursuing them? How have they stretched and changed with you? And connecting with that. And I feel like that's the way to grieve it, because what we realize when we're in the grieving process is things are working out for our good. it hurts like hell, but it's working out for our good. So it's about writing out why it's hurting and figuring out how it's benefiting us, you know? And that's what helps us to grow closer and to dive deeper. And then you'll feel closer and more connected to yourself. So when you feel that lost energy as you're being stretched, you know that you are the thing you can hold on to. You don't have to hold on to your dreams so tightly, or to people. That's a big thing. Holding on to people, even though you're supposed to be letting them go. We cleave to those things, and the thing that we should hold on to is ourselves. The facts about ourselves that remain true, the characteristics about ourselves that remain true, the things that have healed within us, that have unlocked it within us. Cleaving to those things instead, I feel like, is the best thing to do when you're grieving. Because it's easy to get lost when you're grieving. And that's all I have to say. 10-minute episode. That's cool. Let me know if you have any more questions on grieving your childhood dreams and their shifts. Oh my gosh, that's a little honeybee. I mean, not a honeybee. I don't know what kind of bee this is, you guys, but it's a fat ass bee on the ground. It creeped me out for a second. Anyways, because I almost stepped on it. I almost stepped on him. Anyways. Sorry, somebody was trying to call. I hope that you guys can still hear me. As we close out, just remember to search yourself, connect with yourself. Ultimately, you know what's best for you. You know your history. You're going to be able to decide that. So it's better to cleave to yourself and not your dreams, not those kinds of things, not people saying, well, that was your childhood dream. Okay, that's cool. I'm not a child anymore now, though. Now I've gotten to know myself on a deeper level, and I know what's best for me, right? So anyways, as always, remember that you are worthy always. You are worthy of self-reflection. You are worthy of applying those reflections in order to shoot you forward. You are worthy of self-honesty. You are worthy of, if you got to let go of a dream or a person or a place or a mindset, you're worthy of letting that go in order to elevate yourself. You're worthy of putting yourself first. You are worthy of unconditional self-care and unconditional self-love. Until next time, my loves. Bye-bye.